In this video, we're discussing the latest developments in the global geopolitical landscape and asking the question, is Ibrahim Traore, the new military leader of Burkina Faso, next on the West's assassination list? With the recent trend of Western-backed coups and assassinations in Africa, it's a legitimate concern. We'll delve into the background of Ibrahim Traore, his rise to power, and the potential motivations behind a possible Western-backed assassination attempt. Is this a case of Western imperialism or just mere speculation? Watch to find out. As we explore Traore's swift ascent to leadership amidst a series of upheavals, we must consider how these events reflect broader geopolitical strategies at play. The question remains whether Traore can navigate this treacherous landscape without falling victim to the same fate as others before him. Join us as we analyze his past, the allies he's forged, and the threats he potentially faces from external forces. Ibrahim Traore, the young and ambitious leader of Burkina Faso, has been making waves in global politics. Rising to prominence after taking over as the interim president in 2022, Traore's story is one of intrigue and resilience. At just 34 years old, he has positioned himself as a strong advocate for African sovereignty and a vocal critic of Western interference. Traore's leadership style and vision for Burkina Faso directly challenge Western interests, particularly those of France and the United States. His efforts to navigate his country towards greater independence and self-reliance are perceived as a threat to the traditional influence of Western powers in the region. This stance has not gone unnoticed, as Western governments and media outlets have begun to scrutinize his actions more closely. The shift towards a more nationalistic and anti-imperialist agenda could potentially destabilize the region, making Traore a significant figure of interest for Western policymakers. The economic interests at play are substantial, with Burkina Faso's rich natural resources, including gold, becoming a focal point. Western corporations have significant stakes in these resources, and Traore's policies could impact their operations. Furthermore, his alignment with other African nations pushing for similar sovereignty could lead to a broader shift in global power dynamics. This is why some speculate that Traore might be viewed as a target by Western powers seeking to maintain their influence. Recent months have seen a flurry of diplomatic activity around Traore, with Western ambassadors and officials making frequent visits to Ouagadougou. The international community's reaction to Traore's governance and policies has been mixed, with some nations expressing support for his vision of a more independent Burkina Faso. However, others have been critical, citing concerns over governance and human rights. Traore's response has been resolute, emphasizing the need for Burkina Faso to chart its own course, free from external pressures. In a recent speech, Traore highlighted the dangers of neocolonialism and the need for African nations to reclaim their sovereignty. This message resonated across the continent, making him a symbol of resistance against Western dominance. However, such rhetoric also puts him at odds with powerful Western nations, potentially increasing the risk to his safety. Several statements from Western officials have hinted at dissatisfaction with Traore's approach, which some describe as divisive and dangerous. The pivotal moment came when Traore openly accused France of being complicit in the terror attacks plaguing his country. This bold accusation was seen as a turning point, marking a significant escalation in tensions between Burkina Faso and its former colonial power. Since then, there have been growing concerns about Traore's security, with speculation that he might be on the radar of Western intelligence agencies. In analyzing the potential risks to Traore, it becomes clear that his bold stance on sovereignty and his resistance to Western interference have put him in a precarious position. His determination to lead Burkina Faso on its own terms, despite the challenges and threats, has garnered him support both domestically and internationally. However, the implications of his actions on the global stage cannot be understated. Let's recap Ibrahim Traore's rise to power, his challenge to Western interests, and the recent tensions between Burkina Faso and Western nations have all contributed to a scenario where Traore could indeed be viewed as a target. What do you think about Ibrahim Traore's future? Do you believe he's in danger from foreign powers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content like this, check out my other videos analyzing the situations surrounding other political figures around the world.